What if everything you have ever believed about reality, about distance, about motion, about time passing second by second, was only half the truth? What if space and time aren't two separate things at all, but one single united fabric that shapes everything you experience? Most of us grow up thinking space is just emptiness, a big blank container where stars float and planets move. And time? We imagine it like a steady river, always flowing forward, always ticking at the same speed no matter where you are or who you are. But in reality, the universe isn't built that way. What we call space and what we call time are woven together into something much deeper, something far stranger. They form a single structure, something scientists call space-time. To understand this, imagine you are standing still, not moving an inch. To you, it feels like nothing is happening, like you're frozen in one spot. But even when your body is completely motionless, you are still traveling, not through space, but through time. Every second you move forward in time, pushing deeper into the future. Time is not something happening around you. It is a direction you are constantly traveling in. Just like left and right, up and down, forward and backward are directions in space. Time is another direction, another dimension, one that we normally cannot see, but one that we are always moving through. And now imagine the opposite. Picture an astronaut traveling through space at an incredible speed, near the speed of light. Something strange happens. The faster they travel through space, the slower they move through time. It's as if motion in one direction steals motion from the other. When you speed through space, you crawl through time. When you rest in space, you race through time. And this reveals something extraordinary. Space and time cannot be torn apart. They are not two realities, they are one. A single connected fabric, stretched across the universe, guiding everything. Think about the world like a map. Every point you visit in your life isn't just a location, it is a place and a moment combined. You are not just here, you are here right now. There is no point in space without time, and no moment in time without space. In the same way you can't draw a dot on a paper without choosing a spot on both the X and Y axis. You cannot exist in the universe without having both a position in space and a moment in time. You always have both. Every object, every atom, every beam of light is pinned to this cosmic fabric like beads stitched into cloth. But space-time isn't just a passive stage where events happen. It is not empty or lifeless. It bends, it stretches, it ripples. Massive objects like stars and planets push down on this fabric like heavy balls placed on a trampoline. And that bending of space-time is what we feel as gravity. Not a mysterious, invisible pull, but the result of the fabric itself curving around matter. You and I don't feel pulled to the Earth. We are simply following the curves in space-time created by Earth's mass. We fall not because gravity drags us down, but because straight lines in space-time lead us downward. Even when you sit still, the ground beneath you is actually pushing you away from your natural path through space-time, a path that would take you downward if the Earth weren't stopping you. And in this moment, if someone were to ask you, where are you? You might say your city, your country, your planet, but in the deeper sense, you are floating inside the fabric of space-time, carried along by its flows and its curves. You are not standing on Earth. You are sinking through time every second, riding through a cosmic fabric that is invisible yet fundamental. We live inside space-time the way fish live in water. We breathe it, move through it, are shaped by it, and yet we barely notice it exists. This is why clocks tick differently at the top of a mountain than at the bottom. Higher up, space is stretched a tiny bit more, time flows a little faster. In deep gravity, near something massive like a black hole, time slows down, space folds so sharply it can trap light. All of this happens. Time is not just a rhythm. It is not only something we count. Time is a dimension. As real, as fundamental, as physical as up, down, left and right. And whether you notice it or not, whether you rush or freeze or breathe slowly in stillness, you are always moving through it. You are always traveling, always crossing from one moment to the next, unable to stop, unable to turn back. Even sitting perfectly still, your body does not move through space, but your existence races through time. Every second you slide into the future, carried by the geometry of space-time like a leaf drifting on a quiet stream. Think about that. You are never motionless. Not really. You are gliding through a dimension you cannot touch, cannot see, cannot step out of. Every heartbeat, every blink, every breath, You fall deeper into time, deeper into the future. You are not watching time pass around you. You are swimming through it. And nothing in the universe can halt that journey. Not even light escapes this flow. Everything, galaxies, stars, planets, everything travels through time together forever. We tend to believe that time is universal, the same for everyone, everywhere. But that is an illusion. Time does not tick equally for all observers. It stretches, it bends, it slows and speeds based on motion, based on gravity. A person living high in the mountains ages slightly faster than someone at sea level. A fast-moving astronaut returns home younger than their twin. Time is not a constant ruler. It is a flexible dimension shaped by the universe. And the most beautiful part, you are not just in time. You shape it by moving through space. The faster you move, the slower time becomes for you. When you run, when you fly, when you accelerate, time gently bends around your journey. You do not feel it, but the universe feels it. Time recognizes your motion and rewards you by stretching itself, softly adjusting the rate at which your story unfolds. The universe whispers, "Slow down your passing, traveler. You are moving swiftly through my fabric." So imagine again, sitting still. You feel frozen. Yet in reality, you are moving through a hidden coordinate of the universe. You are walking forward in a corridor you cannot see, stepping one moment at a time. Yesterday is not behind you. It is a point in the fabric where your path once crossed. Tomorrow is not ahead. It is a place in space-time waiting for your arrival. The future is not written, but the road to reach it is already there, invisible and silent, stretching before you. This is why time feels different in different moments of life. When you are young, everything is new. Your brain drinks in information and every second stretches wide. As you age, patterns repeat, days blur and time feels faster. Not because clocks change, but because your experience through this dimension changes. Emotion shapes time. Memory shapes time. Awareness shapes time. You carry time within your consciousness, and your mind stretches or compresses it like space-time itself. You are not a passenger. You are a traveler. Each second you carve a trail in the universe, a glowing thread through the four-dimensional fabric. Your timeline is your personal road, unique, unrepeatable, drawn by the choices you make and the moments you live. No one else will ever walk your exact path again. When your life ends, your path remains etched into space-time, a permanent curve, a trace of existence. Your story becomes part of the universe's geometry, so the next time you feel still, remember, stillness is a trick. Stillness is only lack of motion in space. You are always moving, always journeying. Every breath carries you forward in time. Every thought is a step in this vast, invisible direction. You are a traveler in a four-dimensional world, living not on a plane, not in a line, but in a fabric where time and space are intertwined like threads in cosmic cloth. And as long as you exist, you will move through this dimension, gentle, unseen, endless, guided by the laws of a universe far stranger and more beautiful than our senses can ever show us. You are not simply alive in space. You are alive in time, and that is what makes your existence miraculous. Gravity, a word we learned as children, the force that pulls things down. We drop a stone, it falls. We jump, we return to the earth, we think we understand. But what if everything you believe about gravity was only a story told for simplicity? What if there is no pulling at all? Because in truth, gravity is not a force. It is a path, a curve carved in the fabric of reality itself. Imagine space-time as a quiet ocean, vast, invisible calm. Every planet, every star, every atom presses into this ocean, not sinking but shaping, not pushing downward but curving the sea around them. And what we call gravity is simply motion along those curves. When you fall, it isn't the earth grabbing you. It's the universe guiding you along the natural path its geometry has written beneath your feet. The earth does not pull you. You are not being dragged down. You are simply sliding along the slope of space-time. Let that sink in. You are always trying to move in a straight line through the universe. But space bends around planets, around stars, around galaxies, and your straight path becomes curved without you noticing. You don't fall because you are forced. You fall because the shortest path through space-time leads downward. Gravity is not strength but shape, not force but geometry. And here is the strangest, most beautiful part. You have never felt gravity, not once in your entire life. When you stand, when you sit, when you lie in bed, that heaviness you feel is not gravity. It is resistance. The ground is pushing back, stopping you from following the path space-time has drawn. Gravity is peaceful. Gravity is silent. Gravity is natural motion. If you truly felt gravity, you would feel weightless. Like astronauts drifting above Earth, not free from gravity but finally moving freely with it. Lift your arm. Walk forward. Stretch your limbs. And it is here that the universe becomes even stranger. Because if mass bends space-time, then more mass bends it more deeply. Time slows near massive objects. Distances stretch. Light bends. At the heart of a black hole, a place where mass has collapsed into almost infinite density, space-time curves so sharply that even time nearly freezes. Imagine a clock near a black hole's edge, its hands crawling slower and slower until they seem to almost stop. To someone watching from a distance, it looks frozen, trapped between moments, but to the clock itself, time still flows normally. That is the paradox of space-time. Two truths, both real, both happening. This bending of time is not science fiction. It is real. It happens here on Earth every second. A clock on a mountain ticks faster than a clock at sea level. A satellite orbiting Earth experiences time differently than a phone in your hand. Your GPS works only because engineers correct for the warping of space-time. Without that correction, your navigation would drift miles off course every day. Even the technology in your pocket quietly acknowledges Einstein's universe, a universe where time stretches, bends, and flows differently based on where you stand and how fast you move. Think about that. The watch on your wrist is not keeping universal time. It is keeping your time, your personal slice of space-time. Someone moving faster will experience less time passing. Someone deeper in gravity will age more slowly. On a cosmic scale, time is not fair. It does not treat all observers equally. It stretches and folds, obedient only to the geometry of the universe. We are passengers in a dimension we cannot control, and yet we live our lives unaware. We wake up, eat, work, sleep, believing every second is the same as the one before. But in the quiet truth of physics, every moment we exist inside a living space-time, shaped by stars and planets, stretched by motion, rippled by forces we cannot feel. The ordinary world, roads, buildings, oceans, cities, floats like dust on the surface of this invisible sea. Beneath everything, space-time curves and flexes, guiding every particle, every planet, every ray of light. Once you see this truth, the universe never looks the same again. A falling apple becomes a journey along bent space-time. A planet's orbit becomes a graceful glide through a cosmic valley. Even standing still becomes an illusion, because you are moving always through time. We are not drifting in emptiness. We are sliding through a fabric, guided by its folds, pushed by its contours, held in its embrace. Einstein didn't just explain motion, he revealed something deeper. He taught us that reality is not what it seems. Space is not emptiness, time is not a clock. They are threads of one cosmic cloth, and we, our bodies, our atoms, our thoughts, are woven into that cloth. We belong to space-time. We are shaped by it, carried by it, defined by it. You are not just here. You are here right now. Your existence is a point on the grand tapestry, a location in space and a moment in time, pinned together forever. And as you move, the universe reshapes itself around you. Every second, the fabric flows, subtly shifting, dancing around every particle, every star, every black hole. A universe alive with curvature and rhythm. This quiet, unseen dance is the true structure of reality. Most people, when first hearing about space-time, picture a rubber sheet, a flat surface stretched tight, with a heavy ball placed in the middle, causing a dip. Smaller balls roll around it, spiraling inward if they get too close. It's a simple image. It helps us see how mass can bend space, how gravity can look like motion along curves. Teachers use it. Animators love it. And for many, it becomes the entire idea of space-time. But that picture is only the beginning. It's a shadow and a helpful illusion, not the full truth, because in reality, space isn't a flat sheet. It isn't two-dimensional. It isn't something floating in nothingness. Space stretches in all directions, up, down, forward, backward. And time flows forward as an inseparable dimension intertwined with all of space. A planet doesn't bend a rubber sheet. It bends a four-dimensional fabric, one we cannot see with human eyes. That familiar sheet diagram only shows the curvature of space, not time. And without time, the picture is incomplete, because gravity doesn't just bend where things go, it bends when things happen. A falling object doesn't move along a curve simply because space is distorted. It falls because time itself is warped. Time flows slower in deeper gravity, and things always move into regions where time flows more slowly. Not because they are pulled, but because the future is deeper there. In a curved spacetime, objects follow the path of greatest time, not the path of least distance. The universe isn't pushing you down, it's guiding you toward where time wants to go. This idea is hard to grasp at first. We're used to thinking in lines and surfaces, in simple images. But spacetime isn't simple. It is a living landscape, not just a surface bending downward, but a volume warping in every direction and every instant. Time thickening near massive objects, distances stretching toward infinity near cosmic beasts like black holes. Light bending, not because it is weak, but because reality itself curves around mass. Imagine, instead of a rubber sheet, being inside a vast invisible ocean. Everywhere around you, above, below, behind, ahead, currents flow, eddies twist, tides bend. You don't see them, you don't feel them, but they shape your path all the same. Every breath you take, you are drifting through this silent ocean of space-time, guided by its invisible currents. Mountains, planets, stars, they don't sit on a sheet. They float within this ocean, each one warping the currents, reshaping the flow of time and space around them. Now imagine that ocean is not smooth, not perfect. On the smallest scales, tiny waves ripple through it, tremors of quantum energy flickering like foam on the surface of water. Space-time is not a calm sheet. It is restless. It can vibrate. It can twist. When massive objects collide, like black holes merging, space-time ripples across the universe, stretching and squeezing reality itself. We have measured those ripples. We have heard space-time ring like a giant drum. That is not the behavior of a rubber sheet. That is the heartbeat of the cosmos. Our minds struggle because we evolved to survive on Earth, to judge distances with eyes, to measure time with pulses and breaths. We never needed to see space-time. So we built pictures, sheets, grids, diagrams to help us understand. Useful, yes, but limited. The truth is far stranger than the illustration, because if space-time is a fabric, then it is one woven from something deeper, woven from relationships between events, from the geometry of existence. It has no edge, no color, no surface. You cannot touch it, yet you live inside it. You cannot see it, yet it guides every step you take. The rubber sheet helps us imagine, but the real space-time is an unseen cathedral stretching across reality, curved by the presence of matter and sculpted by the passage of time. Think about the quiet elegance of that. Gravity is not a pull. It is a story written in geometry. The universe does not force. It simply curves and everything follows. There is no center. There is no top or bottom. We are suspended inside an endless web of space and time, each of us weaving our own tiny line across its surface. Each moment is a point, each movement a thread, each life a unique path through the fabric of reality. Once you understand this, the world feels different. Fall isn't falling. It is following space-time's design. Motion isn't motion. It is a glide through a curved existence. You aren't just alive. You are traveling through a dimension you cannot see. And now, with this picture in your mind, with the sheet peeled away, the illusion lifted, space-time becomes not a diagram, but a living stage on which the universe performs its drama. Stars dance in its valleys. Light bends along its curves, time flows along its surfaces. The cosmos breathes, stretches, and ripples around you. You are part of this breathing fabric, a momentary shape in the geometry of everything, and we have only begun to understand it. Time. A word we use every single day, yet barely understand. We treat it casually, as if it flows like water, as if it ticks like a perfect clock somewhere in the sky, always steady, always fair. We measure it in seconds, minutes, hours. We feel it in aging, in memories, in change. We live inside time the way fish live in water, unaware of the ocean around them, unaware of the current constantly carrying them forward. But time is not what we think. Time is not just a rhythm. It is not only something we count. Time is a dimension. As real, as fundamental, as physical as up, down, left and right. And whether you notice it or not, whether you rush or freeze or breathe slowly in stillness, you are always moving through it. You are always traveling, always crossing from one moment to the next, unable to stop, unable to turn back. Even sitting perfectly still, your body does not move through space, but your existence races through time. Every second you slide into the future, carried by the geometry of space-time like a leaf drifting on a quiet stream. Think about that. You are never motionless. Not really. You are gliding through a dimension you cannot touch, cannot see, cannot step out of. Every heartbeat, every blink, every breath, you fall deeper into time, deeper into the future. You are not watching time pass around you. You are swimming through it. And nothing in the universe can halt that journey. Not even light escapes this flow. Everything, galaxies, stars, planets, everything travels through time together forever. We tend to believe that time is universal, the same for everyone, everywhere. But that is an illusion. Time does not tick equally for all observers. It stretches, it bends, it slows and speeds based on motion, based on gravity. A person living high in the mountains ages slightly faster than someone at sea level. A fast-moving astronaut returns home younger than their twin. Time is not a constant ruler. It is a flexible dimension shaped by the universe. And the most beautiful part, you are not just in time. You shape it by moving through space. The faster you move, the slower time becomes for you. When you run, when you fly, when you accelerate, time gently bends around your journey. You do not feel it, but the universe feels it. Time recognizes your motion and rewards you by stretching itself, softly adjusting the rate at which your story unfolds. The universe whispers, "Slow down your passing, traveler. You are moving swiftly through my fabric." So imagine again, sitting still. You feel frozen. Yet in reality, you are moving through a hidden coordinate of the universe. You are walking forward in a corridor you cannot see, stepping one moment at a time. Yesterday is not behind you. It is a point in the fabric where your path once crossed. Tomorrow is not ahead. It is a place in space-time waiting for your arrival. The future is not written, but the road to reach it is already there, invisible and silent, stretching before you. This is why time feels different in different moments of life. When you are young, everything is new. Your brain drinks in information and every second stretches wide. As you age, patterns repeat, days blur and time feels faster. Not because clocks change, but because your experience through this dimension changes. Emotion shapes time. Memory shapes time. Awareness shapes time. You carry time within your consciousness, and your mind stretches or compresses it like space-time itself. You are not a passenger. You are a traveler. Each second you carve a trail in the universe, a glowing thread through the four-dimensional fabric. Your timeline is your personal road, unique, unrepeatable, drawn by the choices you make and the moments you live. No one else will ever walk your exact path again. When your life ends, your path remains etched into space-time, a permanent curve, a trace of existence. Your story becomes part of the universe's geometry, so the next time you feel still, remember, stillness is a trick. Stillness is only lack of motion in space. You are always moving, always journeying. Every breath carries you forward in time. Every thought is a step in this vast, invisible direction. You are a traveler in a four-dimensional world, living not on a plane, not in a line, but in a fabric where time and space are intertwined like threads in cosmic cloth. And as long as you exist, you will move through this dimension, gentle, unseen, endless, guided by the laws of a universe far stranger and more beautiful than our senses can ever show us. You are not simply alive in space. You are alive in time, and that is what makes your existence miraculous. Gravity, a word we learned as children, the force that pulls things down. We drop a stone, it falls. We jump, we return to the earth, we think we understand. But what if everything you believe about gravity was only a story told for simplicity? What if there is no pulling at all? Because in truth, gravity is not a force. It is a path, a curve carved in the fabric of reality itself. Imagine space-time as a quiet ocean, vast, invisible calm. Every planet, every star, every atom presses into this ocean, not sinking but shaping, not pushing downward but curving the sea around them. And what we call gravity is simply motion along those curves. When you fall, it isn't the earth grabbing you. It's the universe guiding you along the natural path its geometry has written beneath your feet. The Earth does not pull you. You are not being dragged down. You are simply sliding along the slope of space-time. Let that sink in. You are always trying to move in a straight line through the universe. But space bends around planets, around stars, around galaxies, and your straight path becomes curved without you noticing. You don't fall because you are forced. You fall because the shortest path through space-time leads downward. Gravity is not strength, but shape. Not force, but geometry. And here is the strangest, most beautiful part. You have never felt gravity. Not once in your entire life. When you stand, when you sit, when you lie in bed, that heaviness you feel is not gravity. It is resistance. The ground is pushing back, stopping you from following the path space-time has drawn. Gravity is peaceful. Gravity is silent. Gravity is natural motion. If you truly felt gravity, you would feel weightless. Like astronauts drifting above Earth, not free from gravity, but finally moving freely with it. Lift your arm. Walk forward. Stretch your limbs. Satellites, physics experiments, your heartbeat marching through reality, all tied to the steady rhythm set by the speed of light. And here's where space-time reveals another secret. The faster you move, the slower time becomes. A spaceship traveling near light speed ages slower than the universe around it. Astronauts in orbit return home younger than the rest of us. By fractions of a second, yes, but real, measurable, proven. Time bends for motion. Time bends for gravity. Time is not universal, it is personal. Your seconds are yours. Mine are mine. Every being in existence swims through time differently, but only one thing escapes the river entirely. Light itself. You and I cannot reach that state. No matter how powerful, how advanced, how determined, nothing with mass can travel at the speed of light. To do so would require infinite energy, infinite transformation. To go as fast as light, you would have to stop being matter. So light stands alone, a messenger between worlds, a traveler untouched by time, a thread weaving the universe together. And every morning, as sunlight touches your skin, you are feeling ancient messengers from the heart of a star that left their birthplace ages ago, yet arrived as if born in the same instant. Light is not just brightness. It is the closest thing we know to immortality, to eternity, to the pure essence of space-time. You are made of matter, bound to time. Light is made of energy, freed from it. And in its journey we glimpse something profound. The universe does not merely exist in time. It creates time, shapes time, bends time, and light is the ruler by which all time is measured. Mass. A simple word we use every day without thinking. The weight of an object, the heaviness we feel when we lift something, the resistance we sense when we try to move. But in the deepest language of the universe, mass is not just weight, and it is not simply stuff. Mass is the signature that decides how much a thing bends the fabric of reality. It is the universe's way of saying, this exists. This influences everything around it. When you sit on a chair when a planet orbits a star, when galaxies swirl in cosmic spirals, billions of light years wide. All of these movements, all of these relationships, are written by mass-shaping space-time. Imagine space-time as a vast, perfectly smooth sheet. Place a tiny pebble, it makes a small dent. Place a bowling ball and the sheet curves deeply. That curve determines how nearby objects move, not because they are pulled, but because space itself slopes toward the heavier object. Mass instructs reality. Curve here, bend here, flow around me. The sun does not pull Earth. Instead, the sun's mass carves a deep valley in space-time, and Earth rolls eternally around that curve, not because it is held, but because space itself guides it. Without mass, nothing would orbit, nothing would cluster, nothing would form. The universe would not be a tapestry of stars and worlds. It would be a quiet, uniform emptiness. And the strangest part? Mass itself may not be fundamental. In the smallest scales of reality, in the world of particles, mass may be something borrowed, something gained, not inherently possessed. The Higgs field, a cosmic energy field that fills all of space, whispers instructions to particles: move slowly, feel resistance, possess mass. Without the Higgs field, particles would rush at the speed of light, unable to clump, unable to build atoms, unable to create matter. You, your body, Earth, the stars, all of it exists because particles interact with this invisible field that permeates the universe. You do not simply have mass. You receive it from the universe itself. Matter is not solid. It is a relationship with a field spread through space-time. Every breath you take, every step you walk, every heartbeat inside your chest is possible only because mass bends reality in just the right way. If atoms were slightly less massive or slightly more, the structure of matter would collapse. Stars would not ignite. Chemistry would not occur. Biology would never emerge. Your existence is not an accident, but a result of space, time, mass, and fields cooperating in a delicate balance, forming a universe capable of complexity, capable of life. In this cosmic balance, mass is the architect that shapes structure. Gravity is the motion along the curves mass creates, and space-time is the stage where it all unfolds. So when you feel your weight, when you sense gravity grounding you to Earth, remember that you are experiencing a dialogue between your mass and the bending of space-time beneath your feet. You are not stuck to Earth. You are participating in the geometry of reality. You are a ripple, a presence, a curvature in the universe. Your mass is not merely a measurement. It is your interaction with existence itself. Space-time is not a rigid stage. It breathes. It stretches, twists, ripples, and bends, almost like something alive. When we imagine the universe, we often picture stillness. Stars suspended in black emptiness, planets moving mechanically like gears in a cosmic clock. But space-time is not passive. It reacts, it vibrates. It can be disturbed, strained, and reshaped. When a massive star collapses or two black holes spiral into one another, space-time shudders. Waves travel outward, carrying the memory of that violent moment across billions of light years. These waves are not sound and not light. They are literal ripples in reality, expansions and compressions of existence itself. When they pass through you, they stretch you and the Earth, tiny distortions too small to feel, yet real enough that our instruments can detect them. The universe trembles and we can hear its tremor. What's astonishing is that space-time can stretch so dramatically that distances grow between objects without those objects moving. Galaxies drift away from each other, not because they are traveling through space, but because space itself expands between them. Imagine dots drawn on a balloon. When the balloon inflates, the dots grow farther apart, yet they never move. The universe works the same way. Light traveling across this stretching fabric slowly loses energy, its wavelength stretched by expanding space-time itself, like a cosmic sigh echoing across eons. This stretching is not a theory. It is observed in every distant galaxy. In the afterglow of the Big Bang, in the way the universe quietly grows colder and emptier as time flows forward. The cosmos does not explode outward. It unfolds, and it doesn't just stretch, it can twist. Rotating black holes swirl space-time around them, dragging reality along like a whirlpool in a cosmic ocean. Near them, space and time fuse into something foreign, where moving forward means moving in circles, where falling in means being pulled not just downward but sideways, spiraling as though reality itself is liquid. If you approach such a place, your path would stop obeying intuition. Up would not feel up, straight would not stay straight. Space-time would seize your motion and twist it, reminding you that direction is not a law. It is a privilege granted by smooth geometry, and near extreme mass, that privilege dissolves. In the most extreme environments, around black holes, at the moment the universe was born, space-time is pushed so far that our equations begin to shake. We do not fully know what happens when reality is bent beyond its limits. Does space-time tear? Can it pinch into tunnels that bridge distant parts of the universe? Could new universes bud from extreme curvature, the way bubbles split from soap films? We do not know, but evidence and theory hint at possibilities stranger than imagination. The universe may be far more flexible, more dynamic, more structurally alive than our senses can grasp. Space is not emptiness, it is fabric. Time is not flow, it is geometry. And together, they form a medium capable of warping and whispering and changing shape as matter and energy push against it. You are living inside something elastic, something that responds to every atom, every star, every collision in the cosmos. Your life unfolds on a surface that can bend beneath your feet and ripple under distant cataclysms. Space is not where things are, space is what connects them. Time is not when things happen, time is how change exists. And space-time is not a background. It is the universe itself, alive with motion, shaped by presence expanding in silence, carrying the footprints of ancient explosions, and waiting to be understood. Black holes are not just massive objects. They are regions where the rules of space-time push to extremes, where familiar reality dissolves and something deeper, stranger takes over. From far away they look like darkness, an absence of light, a cosmic pit, but what they truly are is geometry pushed to its breaking point. They are places where space-time curves so violently that not even light can escape the slope. And yet the most breathtaking secret of black holes is not that they trap matter, but that they trap time. Imagine falling toward a black hole. At first, nothing seems unusual. Space feels normal. Seconds pass normally, your heartbeat keeps its rhythm. But as you approach the event horizon, the invisible boundary where escape becomes impossible, time behaves differently. To you, everything feels steady, but to the universe watching from afar, you begin to slow. Your movements stretch, your voice fades, your clock ticks slower. Seconds become minutes, minutes stretch toward infinity. And just before you cross the event horizon, time, from an outside perspective, nearly stops. You appear frozen, suspended at the edge forever, never quite falling in. Inside your own experience, though, you continue. You cross the horizon unknowingly, because nothing special locally marks the border. And then you are carried deeper, drawn forward by space-time that no longer offers any path back. In this place, motion is not a choice. It is destiny. Every trajectory leads inward, not because you are being pulled, but because all possible futures point toward the center. Space does not guide you anymore, time does. Falling into a black hole is not like falling into a pit. It is like being pushed forward in time so forcefully that the only direction left to travel is inward. Inside, future no longer means moving through space. It means moving toward the singularity, the core where the fabric of reality collapses into forms we still do not understand. In this extreme environment, time and space trade roles. What once was space becomes time, and what once was time becomes space. You cannot choose to go back, just as you cannot choose to go backward in time. You are simply carried. The black hole does not imprison you by force. It imprisons you through geometry. And this is a fascinating truth. What we call a trap is simply a region where the shape of space-time gives you no alternative. Falling inward is not movement, it is fate. Scientists don't fully grasp what lies at the exact center. Our mathematics begins to tremble, our theories lose clarity. Is it a point? A ring, a sphere? A portal to another universe? A fold where space-time wraps back onto itself? We do not yet know. And in this not knowing lies beauty, the frontier of human understanding, the edge of our knowledge where curiosity still burns brightest. But one thing is certain. Inside a black hole, time does something so foreign to experience that our language barely captures it. To you, time feels normal as you fall. But to the universe outside, you vanish slowly, your last moments stretched across eternity. In a strange way, a piece of you remains forever at the horizon, frozen in cosmic time while another part continues inward. Two versions of truth, both valid depending on where you stand in space-time. Black holes teach us that time is not universal. Time is not uniform. Time is not absolute. It is personal, relative, altered by motion and gravity, sculpted by curves in the invisible fabric of existence. And perhaps the most astonishing thought, even black holes themselves are not eternal prisons. They evaporate, slowly, silently, through Hawking radiation, shrinking over unimaginable ages until they disappear. Time trapped in darkness eventually leaks back into the universe, particle by particle, glow by faint glow, as if the cosmos refuses to keep any secret forever. What went in may never return the same way, but nothing remains hidden for eternity. Even the deepest wells of space-time eventually give back their borrowed reality. We live in a universe where falling into a black hole is not simply destruction, it is participation, in the most extreme expression of geometry. A place where time bends so fiercely it stops being the clock we know and becomes something raw, fundamental, mysterious. A realm where the laws that build galaxies and bodies and atoms bow to deeper rules we are only beginning to glimpse. Experiencing your position in a timeless structure, guided by the slow, graceful rise of entropy. The future isn't waiting to be written. It may already exist like a chapter you have not yet read. For most of human history, The idea of a beginning felt natural. A universe born in a single flash, a creation moment, time igniting, space unfolding, stars yet unborn. The Big Bang has dominated our imagination, a cosmic starting gun, a moment when nothing became everything. But the deeper we peer into space-time, the more uncertain that simplicity becomes. Was there truly a beginning? Or is our universe just one chapter in a story far older than time itself? Imagine standing at the edge of time looking backward. As you travel toward the past, galaxies draw closer, space contracts, temperature rises. Stars unform, atoms disassemble, energy compresses. Push far enough and you reach a boundary. A moment so dense, so hot, so curved that our physics falters. We call that boundary the Big Bang. But calling it a bang may be misleading. There was no explosion in space. Space itself expanded. There was no spark inside darkness. Space, time, matter, energy, and even darkness emerged together. Yet this picture, as powerful as it is, may not be complete, because physics now hints that the Big Bang might not have been a beginning, but a transition. Some theories suggest a universe existed before ours, collapsing inward, then rebounding in a cosmic bounce. Others imagine cycles, expansion, contraction, rebirth, an eternal heartbeat of creation and dissolution. There is the multiverse idea, where bubbles of space-time constantly blossom from a deeper cosmic sea, each bubble its own universe, each with its own space-time rules. In that view, our Big Bang wasn't the start of everything, just the start of our cosmic bubble. The true beginning may lie beyond what we can ever observe, hidden behind the limits of space-time we occupy. Then there is the provocation offered by quantum gravity, that time itself may not be fundamental, that the beginning of time is not a moment, but a feature of limited perspective, like the horizon on Earth. It feels like the edge of the world, but take one more step and new ground appears. If time emerges from deeper laws, then asking what came before time may be like asking what's north of the North Pole, a question shaped by our own assumptions. And yet, there is something quietly profound about a universe with no true beginning. It removes the need for a creation moment and replaces it with endlessness, not chaos but continuity. A universe that cycles or births universes eternally hints that time stretches beyond every horizon we can imagine, that what we call the beginning is merely a chapter boundary in a book without first or last page. But there is another possibility, one more humbling. Perhaps there was a beginning, truly and absolutely, and we will never understand it, because our physics was born inside time, not outside it. Trying to comprehend the birth of time from within time may be like a fish trying to describe the ocean's origin, while never leaving the water. We are creatures of space-time. Our understanding is shaped by it. And if time itself evolved, emerged, crystallized from something more primal, we may only ever glimpse that deeper reality as shadows cast on the walls of our mathematical cave. So we live inside a question: did everything start from nothing? Or have we always existed in some form, some cycle, some eternal cosmic rhythm? And whichever answer is true, there is beauty. A universe born from nothing speaks of profound mystery. A universe without beginning speaks of infinite depth. In both, we are temporary flickers of consciousness exploring the vast structure we emerged from, trying to understand a story far larger than us. You, listening to this now, are part of that story. Your atoms were forged in stars. Your time flows inside the cosmic expansion. Your life is a momentary expression of space-time learning about itself. And whether the universe began once or forever loops, you exist in the portion where stars shine, where matter clumps, where thought appears. The universe made self-aware for a brief breath of cosmic time.